Hi everybody, and welcome to the behind the scenes video of the best social networking site. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I did the visual effects for the video and a little bit about why I did the video the way I did it. I'm going to start with that. The reason I decided to play every single social networking site rather than get a bunch of different actors to do it is because, one, I don't have 7 other friends that would be willing to be in my video. I don't have too many friends, I guess. I make YouTube videos, I don't have friends. And it was also kind of easier if I could just play every role in that way. I just kind of thought it would be funnier. Now, I don't usually do visual effects very often in my videos. Every once in a while, there's a little something there, but it's not obvious. This was one of the times where it's really obvious, and this was actually one of the most complex videos I've ever made. Probably not the most complex I'll ever make, but it's so far the most complex video I've ever made. This was the first video, and so far the only video that I've actually had to storyboard. Basically what that is I had to actually draw on a piece of paper each angle that I was going to do, and just draw each character in there and kind of just give a little bit of what the shot would look like. I started the video just by scripting it, and I got basically a script written. Hang on, there we go. There's some of my script, and it starts off with Tumblr. There's some numbers in the lines, and that's actually just for me to know which angle I was going to cut to at that point. It's typically I got two full pages and then part of another page of my script written. So after I wrote the script for the most part, then I actually started storyboarding. And I'm the worst artist I've ever met in my life. I can't draw. A lot of them, sometimes they're stick figures, sometimes they're not. I had to label what each character was and just kind of basic layout. So this is part of my storyboard for the video. Over here is the very first shot where I have all the social networking sites standing around. I drew a tree there, mainly because I figured there might be a tree there. Then I drew Tumblr talking, and I drew shoulders on the sides, and I wrote maybe, and pointed at them like, maybe I'll have shoulders onto the side. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure yet. And then I had the MySpace tombstone, and then I said I'll cut down to, and I cut down to all the different shots of all these people, and there's my really bad stick figure drawings and all the characters, basically the angles that I was going to do them. Even back here, for the very final shot, I drew out basically, there we go. I drew out how characters might be set up for the most part, and then I drew arrows to show which way they would walk off, so that it was obvious to tell which way I wanted them to walk and move. This video really needed a lot of planning in order to make it work. Otherwise, I would not have known where to place myself or what kind of shots I needed, for the sake of avoiding continuity errors and keeping consistency, so that I just knew kind of where characters would be placed, and it worked out really well for the most part. So there was a few times where it's like, that character wasn't there before, they would have been someplace else. I'm talking a little bit about how I did some of these shots. The shots basically consisted of a few key points. It basically consisted of a background shot of just me in the shot or nobody in the shot. A lot of times it was just me in the shot as one of the characters, acting as how I would in the scene. Usually I decided to play the character that was going to be the farthest in the background, not someone who would be in the foreground, but someone who would be in the background. That way all the green screen clips could go over, and it really wouldn't affect anything, and the character would still be in the background as they would be. I'll kind of talk about the major shots, the shots that involved a lot of people. For the final shot, what I did was I took a clip of me as Twitter acting how I would in the shot, and then I took a green screen shot of me as MySpace, and another green screen shot as me as Facebook. But the one for me as Facebook, I actually had to have the green screen follow me as I walked away, just so I would constantly be keyed in. And then in Adobe After Effects, when I cut just around the green, I actually animated that mask to follow me as well, and that way I was constantly covered by green, and all I had to do was key out the green. And then of course all the other shots were just kind of close up, where I would just kind of walk out of frame. And then whenever I was Vine, I had to be in front of a blue screen because the Vine letters were green, and if I was in front of the green, when I went to key out the green, I would have actually keyed out the word Vine as well, and that really wouldn't have worked out very well. So but then for the final shot, basically what I did was, so I actually took each individual shot, and then I kind of just cropped them all in there and keyed them into the shot. The same kind of idea happened with the opening shot. However, for the opening shot, I forgot to get just a plain background shot. So basically 7 times I had myself placed around the tombstone with the green screen behind me and my green screen below me so that I could key out my entire body. But the problem was I didn't do just a regular background plate, and so I encountered a problem where I would always just have black. And then what I did was I used the cloning tool in After Effects, where I just basically copied some of the background and placed it over the parts that weren't covered with any picture in the background. Once I put all of me in there, it really was hard to tell that there was any problems with the background as it was, so it turned out really well for the most part. For the tombstone, that was actually pretty simple. It basically started with me just kind of filming the actual tombstone we were by, and I used the cloning tool in After Effects to clone the parts of the tombstone where there was no writing and just the texture, and I basically was able to do that enough times to cover up all of the lettering. And then all I did from there was I just kind of added in my own text. I just added in my own text that just said MySpace, and I picked the color that was similar to the one already on the tombstone, as well as picking a font that looked like it could be on a tombstone. So that's basically how I did a majority of the shots in the video. It's really simple. A lot of them work the exact same way. And I don't usually do these kinds of videos to kind of show how I do stuff, but sometimes I think people might find it interesting. Some people don't find it interesting. Some people don't care. You don't have to care. That's fine. But yeah, and as a basic laydown, that's what I did. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope maybe you learned something or found it somewhat kind of interesting. Of course, I find this stuff interesting because I love doing this kind of stuff. So that's all I have to say right now for this video. Feel free to click somewhere. I'm going to put up a video clip right here. So click right up here to watch the original video. And yeah, right up there. Click right there to watch the original video if you haven't already. And if you have, watch it again. Yeah, watch it again. That'd be a great idea. You would love it again. And take care, everybody, and I will see you guys in hopefully a week or so with another video. All right.